barely made it to the weekend. We finally made it to some cooler temperatures for San Antonio. Starting tomorrow, you'll be waking up with temperatures still normal in the 50s and 60s, but in the afternoon, it is still going to be fairly breezy, and our peak temperature is only expected to get to the 60s because a cold front is moving through. But not only are we seeing some cooler temperatures, as that cold front pushes through portions of Texas today and most of the country, we're expected to see those dry and those windy conditions on Sunday, and that is also going to give us that chance of some elevated fire danger and that critical fire risk for not only San Antonio, but for most of South Texas and even stretching through portions of the Louisiana. It is a good idea to not have any sort of burning. Remember, if your county is in a burn ban, because any fires that develop will expected to spread very rapidly. And as that cool air sits in areas of South Texas and most of the country, as
a regular workday turning deadly as shots rang out at a northeast side landscaping business. We hear from police and neighbors who were forced to take cover.
We're on the northwest side where a fire claimed 16 apartment units. Several people are starting over from scratch, and one man is still looking for something so important to him. This story coming up tonight on the Nightbeat.
Plus, nearly 3 years later, a family is still waiting for justice after a carjacking left their elderly father dead. We sit down with Larry Brister's wife and children tonight on the Nightbeat.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We start tonight with a day of work that turned deadly. 3 people were dead and a suspect has been found with a self-inflicted wound after a shooting at a landscaping supply company. Devin Karp was there all morning and takes us to the scene of the crime and what co-workers of the victims had to say about the loss.
I drive down Stall to get to Wetmore all the time when I'm traveling, especially when we go downtown. So I've driven by that landscaping business more times than I can count.
Neighbors on the northeast side of town woke up to gunshots and an alert to stay inside their homes on Saturday morning.
I used to be the manager here for approximately 10 years, and I saw a Facebook post by one of the gentlemen that still works here, and saying just that there had been a shooting at work.
Over at Mission Landscaping Supplies off of Stall Road, San Antonio police say that a suspect shot and killed 3 people. 2 men and 1 woman.
The people involved in this event are employees of that landscape supply company. Don't know the motive right now, but it was not random.
The former manager for the company says the victims were kind, caring people doing their best to save money for their families.
2 of them, I know very, very well. They just the nicest people you ever meet, always have a smile on their face, give you the shirt off their back.
San Antonio police officers, Bexar County Sheriff deputies, and troopers from the Department of Public Safety spent the morning searching for the suspect who was believed to be armed. That suspect was later found with self-inflicted wounds.
It's very nerve-wracking because we've lived here for 3 years, and this is something that's never happened in this neighborhood.
SAPD says more details about the victims and the suspect will be released as it becomes available. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Tonight, the fires are out, but the heartbreak continues for 9 families displaced after a fire gutted their northwest side apartment building. The fire happened on USAA Boulevard near Huebner Road. No one was seriously injured, but one man tells the Night Team's Ari Oates that he's still looking for something incredibly important to his family.
A fire ripped through Building 14 of this apartment complex on Friday afternoon. The complex is called Avistar on the Boulevard. Thankfully, everyone made it out alive, but there is still a long road ahead for people like Jose Carreno.
When I saw the fire truck, I stepped outside, and then the officer told me there's fire, get out. First thing I did, grab my dog, and that's it.
Jose grabbed his dog, but when he tried to get the family cat, she ran. Then firefighters said everyone had to leave the building immediately because the fire was spreading.
My little black cat, I had it for 5 years.
This is Marlo. She's a black cat, and Jose thinks she made it out of the fire, but after hours of walking around the property Friday night and Saturday afternoon, he still hasn't found her. On top of that, the roof of this apartment building collapsed on his son's room. Thankfully, they all got out just before the roof caved in.
In his room, everything just came down. So he couldn't get anything.
His son's belongings ruined, along with paperwork, documents, and crucial appliances.
Social security cards, birth certificates, wedding license, like real important documents. Washer, dryer, TVs, PlayStation 5s, sofa, dining room set.
So many items lost, but a community built from the damage. Jose told me so many of his neighbors have already stepped in to help.
He helped me move all my stuff out. And then the neighbors over here bought us pizza, like food, drinks.
Jose says he's hopeful that his renter's insurance will take care of most things. He also told me that the apartment complex has already found him a new unit and they hope to move him in by Monday. Right now, his main goal is finding his cat. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Zaria, thank you. That's all for our stream tonight. We'll see you right after the game that's airing on ABC in just a few minutes. A regular workday turning deadly as shots rang out at a northeast side landscaping business. We'll hear from police and neighbors who were forced to take cover.
We're on the northwest side where a fire claimed 16 apartment units. Several people are starting over from scratch, and one man is still looking for something so important to him. This story coming up tonight on the Nightbeat.
Plus, nearly 3 years later, a family is still waiting for justice after a carjacking left their elderly father dead. We sit down with Larry Brister's wife and children tonight on the Nightbeat.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
But first, we start tonight with a day of work that turned deadly. 3 people are dead, and a suspect has been found with a self-inflicted wound after a shooting at a landscaping supply company. Devin Karp was there all morning and takes us to the scene of the crime and what co-workers of the victims had to say about the loss.
I drive down Stall to get to Wetmore all the time when I'm traveling, especially when we go downtown. So I've driven by that landscaping business more times than I can count.
Neighbors on the northeast side of town woke up to gunshots and an alert to stay inside their homes on Saturday morning.
I used to be the manager here for approximately 10 years, and I saw a Facebook post by one of the gentlemen that still works here, and saying just that there had been a shooting at work.
Over at Mission Landscaping Supplies off of Stall Road, San Antonio police say that a suspect shot and killed 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman.
The people involved in this event are employees of that landscape supply company. Don't know the motive right now, but it was not random.
The former manager for the company says the victims were kind, caring people doing their best to save money for their families.
Two of them, I know very, very well. They just the nicest people you ever meet, always have a smile on their face, give you the shirt off their back.
San Antonio police officers, Bexar County Sheriff deputies, and troopers from the Department of Public Safety spent the morning searching for the suspect who was believed to be armed. That suspect was later found with self-inflicted wounds.
It's very nerve-wracking because we've lived here for 3 years and this is something that's never happened in this neighborhood.
SAPD says more details about the victims and the suspect will be released as it becomes available. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Tonight, the fires are out, but the heartbreak continues for 9 families displaced after a fire gutted their northwest side apartment building. The fire happened on USAA Boulevard near Huebner Road. No one was seriously injured, but one man tells the Night Team's Ari Oates that he's still looking for something incredibly important to his family.
A fire ripped through Building 14 of this apartment complex on Friday afternoon. The complex is called Avistar on the Boulevard. Thankfully, everyone made it out alive, but there is still a long road ahead for people like Jose Carreno.
When I saw the fire truck, I stepped outside, and then the officer told me there's fire, get out. First thing I did, grab my dog, and that's it.
Jose grabbed his dog, but when he tried to get the family cat, she ran. Then firefighters said everyone had to leave the building immediately because the fire was spreading.
My little black cat, I had it for 5 years.
This is Marlo. She's a black cat, and Jose thinks she made it out of the fire, but after hours of walking around the property Friday night and Saturday afternoon, he still hasn't found her. On top of that, the roof of this apartment building collapsed on his son's room. Thankfully, they all got out just before the roof caved in.
In his room, everything just came down. So he couldn't get anything.
His son's belongings ruined, along with paperwork, documents, and crucial appliances.
Social security cards, birth certificates, wedding license, like real important documents. Washer, dryer, TVs, PlayStation 5s. Sofa, dining room set.
So many items lost, but a community built from the damage. Jose told me so many of his neighbors have already stepped in to help.
He helped me move all my stuff out. And then the neighbors over here bought us pizza, like food, drinks.
Jose says he's hopeful that his renter's insurance will take care of most things. He also told me that the apartment complex has already found him a new unit and they hope to move him in by Monday. Right now, his main goal is finding his cat. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Zaria, thank you. This man is in Eagle Pass police custody tonight after getting into a shootout with an off-duty DPS trooper. Police say the shooting happened around 3 p.m. on Friday in the parking lot of the Mall de las Aquilas. There they found off-duty state trooper Pedro Elizondo and a civilian Ivan Rodriguez with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital, and Rodriguez, the civilian, was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. It's not known at this time if Elizondo will face any charges after his hospital stay. A motorcyclist is in the hospital after running into a truck towing a trailer. It happened last night around 11 at West Woodlawn Avenue and North Elmendorf Street. San Antonio police say a Dodge Ram with a large trailer tried to make a left turn and did not see the motorcyclist driving next to him. Police said the driver of the Ram did remain at the scene and is being cooperative in the investigation. A 53-year-old man is in the hospital and his girlfriend is in handcuffs for allegedly putting him there. This happened before 2 this morning on Avondale Avenue near South New Braunfels Avenue. When police arrived, they say they found the 53-year-old who had been hit by gunfire. The man's 61-year-old girlfriend admitted to shooting him. The boyfriend was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. As for the woman, she was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Meanwhile, there will be no jail time for this San Antonio father accused of causing the death of his eight-month-old baby back in 2023. Alejandro Martinez has been sentenced to 8 years deferred adjudication, and if he complies with all the judge's restrictions, the charge can get removed from his record after 8 years. Martinez was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after his baby died. Investigators said he and the baby's mother had been arguing when a gun went off and struck the child and the mother. The baby died. The mother was also charged in the incident. She's scheduled to appear in court next week. And taking a look at live cam, it was a nice Saturday, but the cold front, as you put it, is at our front door. Cold front door, it's knocking.
Oh, it is very much knocking, JP, and today was a warm day in the 80s, so everyone is finally excited to see some cooler temperatures, but it does come at a cost, especially for tomorrow in south central Texas. Take a look at the winds. Most of them are still just sitting fairly normal at about 10 miles an hour, but behind it, Ozona already seeing 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that front is right knocking on our doorstep. We're starting to see the winds change from the south to be from the north right now in San Antonio, but the winds are also bringing some drier conditions, having that possibility of a fire risk, not only in San Antonio, but for most of us across South Texas and even getting into Louisiana. I'll talk about all what this entails for us in the Alamo City, plus take another look at the timing of that front coming up in just a bit.
Shelby, looking forward to it. Are you flying out or waiting for someone to fly in? More than 750 flights were canceled nationwide today because of the government shutdown. It's not as bad here in San Antonio as it is in other parts of the country, but there is a domino effect at play. Take a look at your screen. Two United Airline flights are canceled tomorrow. United 2385 to Houston and United 2003 from Houston. The FAA is telling everyone to keep checking their airlines' websites to make sure their flights aren't affected. And meanwhile, people are turning to the roads to beat flight cancellations. Hertz said one-way car rental bookings are up more than 20% over the last 2 days compared to this time last year. Travelers stranded by flight cuts are looking for other ways to get to where they're going. Hertz CEO is calling on Congress to pass a funding bill fast, saying, quote, every day of delay creates unnecessary disruption, end quote. From in shock to shocking her friends and family, a San Antonio bride we first told you about back in September finally had their special day this afternoon. Leslie Hidalgo was supposed to get married at Hotel Havana before the Hyatt Hotel announced its abrupt closure earlier this summer. That's when dozens of business owners and venues in San Antonio stepped in. Over the last 4 weeks, Leslie finally got her deposit back from the Hyatt and says they also apologized for the situation. Well, this afternoon, she finally tied the knot at the Kimpton, and even KSAT was on the guest list. And Military City USA celebrating our troops this weekend, how San Antonio is remembering our veterans. Next. This morning, thousands of folks in Military City USA came out to support our troops for the SA Veterans Day celebration at Hemisphere. People came out to play, listen to music, and of course, watch the Veterans Day parade. It was also a time for local nonprofits and aid groups to reach out to the vets who may be struggling in their new mission of civilian life.
What happens as a veteran, they will start drifting once they get out. They don't have their purpose. They lose their purpose, right? They're once fighting for their country, and now they're just not sure exactly what they're doing. So we help find that purpose. We're here to support our veterans as much as we can through coaching.
Military City USA will have even more celebrations for our vets this coming Tuesday, November 11th, which is Veterans Day proper. And as you saw that video right there, nobody in jackets, but you might need it tomorrow.
Or even on Tuesday for Veterans Day, that cold front's coming through. We're talking about temperatures in the 30s.
Is that a smile on your face?
I'm excited. I mean, yes, I'm excited because of the cold weather. I love the cooler temperatures, but it's also exciting because we've been seeing that heat, and everyone's excited to not see that 90-degree day in November anymore. So that cold front is right on our doorstep, but this cold front isn't exactly affecting only us in San Antonio. It's affecting most of the country. In fact, it's all associated with a low pressure system and a warm front moving through portions near the Great Lakes, giving them a chance to see their first lake effect snow event of the season. But for us, it's just going to bring us those cooler temperatures. So this is a strong cold front moving through. And I say cold front and not necessarily cool front like I did last week, because we're seeing temperatures going from the 80s to even near 90 degrees today to being our peak temperatures in the 60s. We'll be waking up for some folks in the 30s this week. But the bad news, it is expected to be very, very dry. And I say that because tomorrow is when we're really going to see the effects of this cold front really start. Not necessarily in the morning. Our mornings will still be in the 50s and 60s, similar to what we've been seeing, because all of that cooler Canadian and Arctic air isn't going to have enough time to really sit in stew really for the morning temperatures, but in the afternoon you will definitely feel it. Our peak temperature is only expected to be about 20 degrees cooler tomorrow than what we were today, but it's still going to be some stronger winds. We're still expecting that low humidity, and all these ingredients are really going to help fuel that chance for some fire danger. So here's a look at that futurecast for the humidity and the dew points. That cold front's knocking right on our doorstep, and all of that dry air associated behind this cold front's moving in, and that is also going to help fuel that chance for some fire weather tomorrow, because all of that dry air and those strong breezy winds will be allowed to really sit. Really, most of the stronger winds will be in the morning, but we have a fire weather watch in effect for most of us across south central Texas. We also have a wind advisory and a red flag warning, and all these little watches and warnings and advisories are really just stressing the chance that what we're watching is that possibility of, if we see the smallest of sparks tomorrow start, it will spread very rapidly because we're so dry, and we're going to stay dry tomorrow, and there is that chance for some stronger winds as well. So remember to follow the rules. If you are under a burn ban, dispose of your cigarette butts properly, because we really don't want to have anything spread quickly, especially because winds, most of it will be tomorrow morning from about right in the pre-dawn era in hours to about mid-afternoon. That's when we finally start to see it die down under about 30 miles an hour, but it's still going to be some stronger winds even in the afternoon and in the evening. So you might want to even secure some of your lawn items for the holidays. If you already have some Christmas decorations up, your Christmas lights, or if you still have some fall decorations, even I know a few people here still have their Halloween decorations up. You might want to secure even your trampolines. But 36 Tuesday morning.
36. Maybe a little bit too cold, but beggars can't be choosers here. We're just going to be happy that it's finally getting colder outside.
You might even have to break off the sweaters and the jackets.
A scarf? I am a wimp when it comes to the cold, so I will be bundled up for sure. Thanks for that, Shelby. The Texas A&M offense, they're the real deal, and they've been proving it week in and week out.
Yeah, and their defense really stepped up in the first half today as well against Mizzou when the Aggies offense wasn't going as they wanted to go, right? But in the second quarter, they started to go, and yes, the Aggies offense is the real deal. They remain undefeated, and the high school football regular season is now complete. Coming up.
We're going to let him go a little bit. I mean, again, it'll be his first game in whatever months.
Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson said there's really no limit for De'Aaron Fox tonight in Big Board Sports. Undefeated and third-ranked Texas A&M played at number 22 Missouri this afternoon, seen right here on KSAT 12. First quarter, Marcel Reed quiets the home crowd, play action, then he connects with Ashton Bethel Roman for a 4-yard touchdown, and it's 7-0 Aggies. And spoiler alert, they never trailed. Third quarter, Reed connects with KC Concepcion, and KC does the rest. He gets out of a shirt grab, and he's taking that ball 48 yards to the end zone as the Aggies extend their lead, 21-0. Fourth quarter, Ruben Owens, the second, puts this game on ice. He gets through the gap, and bye-bye Owens. That's a 57-yard house call to make it 31-10. And the Aggies win 38-17, improving to 9-0, 6-0 in the SEC. Here's Aggies head coach Mike Elko during postgame.
Yeah, obviously good start to November. Finishing up this road swing, coming on the road again. I told our guys in the locker room, you can go back and probably look. I don't know how many times someone has gone on the road 3 straight weeks in this conference and finished that stretch 3-0. And so it's a credit to the character we have in the locker room. It's a credit to the kids that we have in there and what they're doing.
Number 8, Texas Tech hosting number 7 BYU this morning. First quarter, Tech quarterback Barron Morton finds Caleb Douglas in the corner for touchdown in the end zone. Sweet catch to make it 10-0, and Red Raiders alum Patrick Mahomes digging that one. Fourth quarter, Cameron Dickey goes in untouched for 6 more points, and the Red Raiders win this Big 12 battle 29-7, improving to 9-1 and handing the Cougs their first loss this season. In more college football finals from today, Iowa State won at TCU 20-17. Texas State lost at the Ragin' Cajuns 42-39, and Carter Word beat Northwestern State 38-3. Trinity topped Millsaps 42-24. Texas Lutheran roughed up Lyon College 54-10, and UT RGV football beat Nichols 28-21, improving to 7-3. The Thomas Jefferson Lariats were having fun this afternoon at Alamo Stadium, where Jeff was taking on Edison. First quarter, Mustangs QB Aiden Uriales goes back to pass and then drops one in the bucket to Michael Behar. 15-yard touchdown, and the Mustangs lead 7-0. And Jefferson wins 41-6 to finish District 12 5A2 play 4-2 and playoff bound. Plenty of smiles on the Marshall side this afternoon. The Rams face the Stevens Falcons at the Gus on this final Saturday in the regular season. The Falcons are leading 20-0 when they get more. QB Isaiah Ferris keeps it, and number 11 scores an 11-yard touchdown for the Falcons to make it 27-0, and Stevens wins this 28-6A game 34-zip. Let's go to Ferris for a 28-6A contest between the Taft Raiders and the O'Connor Panthers. Third quarter, Taft QB Tucker Vogel goes play action, then throws it to David Aguirre, then watch him shake and bake and dance his way into the end zone for a 15-yard touchdown, and Taft leads 28-15. Back come the Panthers. Riley Eason takes the snap. He spins off a defender and in for an 11-yard touchdown as the Panthers get within 6, but Taft goes on to win this one 46-32, and that is it for the regular season. Spurs point guard De'Aaron Fox made a season debut tonight. He missed the Spurs' first 8 games while coming back from an off-season hamstring injury. After going scoreless in the first quarter, he gets on the board in the second quarter with this 3-ball, part of his 15-point first-half effort. Spurs win 126-119. Fox had a team-high 24 points in 31 minutes. And we are going to hear from De'Aaron coming up later in sports.
He didn't even need the first quarter.
I know, huh?
You've been here for a lot of the great Spurs teams.
Yes.
This start is incredible. Just your thoughts on this young core as it continues to develop, and already only 1 loss on the season, I think?
I believe we're 7-2 now.
7-2?
Yeah, so it's fantastic. They have great young talent, as we know, and of course, Wemby. This is a fantastic team.
Future face of the league, some might say, already trying to take into that role, step into that role of the face of the league.
Here, I'm going to give this to you to roll. So
Good handoff.
I don't want to mess it up.
Good handoff. Appreciate that. A give and go from Larry Ramirez. These dogs are one of the state's most important tools when it comes to finding missing people. Our crew met up with them and their trainers. Their life-saving job still ahead. Beaten, carjacked, and as a result of his injuries, killed. Nearly 3 years have passed since Larry Brister passed, but his family says they're still waiting for justice. I sit down with them coming up at 10:30. Justice and a sense of closure. That is what one family is looking for nearly 3 years after their 80-year-old dad was attacked, carjacked, and subsequently killed. I sat down with Larry Brister's family in 2023 while he fought for his life in the hospital. This week, I spoke with them again, and they say there's been little to no changes in the case.
It's frustrating. Yeah. It's frustrating that he was murdered, and I just don't understand.
In February 2023, Larry Brister went on a dinner run and was beaten, carjacked, dragged, and left for dead, according to San Antonio police. Pictures of his condition immediately after the attack are so gruesome, we are not showing them on air.
It was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Larry eventually passed away from his injuries 5 months after the incident.
I love him and miss him so much.
Yeah, we miss him a ton.
No one will sit in his chair.
His leather recliner, no one touches
there.
Larry's favorite spot remains empty for him, but crowded with everything he left behind. The suspects were arrested in early 2023. We're now at the end of 2025. Do we have a timeline?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's getting frustrating.
We were told at one point we would probably start a trial at the beginning of 2024.
The Brister family says hearings or trials in the case have been pushed back time and time again.
We just want closure. and communication. We want to know. You know, I hope I'm still alive when he's on trial.
They're hopeful there will be movement in the case in early 2026, but fear things will only be delayed once again. Is there anything you say to those 3 suspects?
They took a wonderful father, grandfather, husband away from us. Life has never been the same.
And these are the 3 suspects. They were all minors in 2023, but are now adults. Gabriel Urbano and Miguel Acosta are facing charges of murder and aggravated robbery. Zachariah Aguirre is facing a murder charge. All 3 are still awaiting trial. This upcoming Monday, November 10th, KSAT Community and our partners RBFCU and University Health are teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank and Meals on Wheels SA. This in an effort to help families affected by the government shutdown and SNAP suspension. If you want to help, grab canned food and pet food and drop it off at the Pinstack location off 410. You can bring donations as early as 7 a.m. Anyone who donates will also receive a $5 game card from Pinstack, and the Texas Eats team will be there all day helping collect donations as well as greeting viewers in line. We hope to see you there. Meanwhile, local businesses continue to step up and help feed our San Antonio families. We hope to get that video there here in a second. This week, Oya Cafe Express downtown has been providing free breakfast to those hurting amid the shutdown. The meals are available to anyone who needs breakfast, and they're all based on monetary donations the cafe receives from the community. And Andrea Lay told us they've helped nearly 45,000 people receive a free breakfast. You can find a link to donate to Oya's Snap Breakfast Initiative on their Instagram page. Imagine a loved one disappearing and you're desperate to find them. It's not something you want to think about, but that's where these dogs that we're about to show you come in. They're one of the state's most important tools in finding lost people as well as tracking drugs and weapons. Texas has 9 canines who specialize in this across the state, and they were just in South Texas for training. Our Pari Santos got to see firsthand how good they are at their job.
Meet Piper, May, and Izzy. They are part of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department K-9 team. There's 9 of them spread all over the state.
Piper is a detection dog as well as search and rescue. So Piper specializes in the narcotics detection with an emphasis on search and rescue, tracking, off-lead searches, and article searches.
Izzy also does wildlife detection, so she looks for red snapper, oysters, trout, shark fin, doves, and ducks.
Our primary purpose is going to be search and rescue. Being along the border, of course, narcotics is prevalent.
As you heard, they have a nose for finding things, whether it's in vehicles, the woods, guns buried underground, and in this case, even our GoPro camera lost in the water. We wanted to see how long it would take one of them to find me.
I'm currently in a hiding position out in the woods.
I'm about 350 yards away across a body of water.
Okay, so from where I'm standing, I'm able to hear the handler yell out some commands.
We want the dogs to know that even if water's barricading them from the target, which is a missing person, we want them to be able to cross it or learn how to find their way around it.
They are trained to work in any terrain and weather. And get this, all but one are female.
We've learned from experience the female dogs tend to be a little more mature, a little more focused.
Huh, interesting. Back to the search. After circling around the pond, it took about 2 minutes for her to find me. Her prize?
Good girl.
A game of fetch.
That took less than 2 minutes.
Didn't take long.
Didn't take long.
Welcome back. Your time 10:44 this evening, and we're on a seasonal seesaw when it comes to the temperatures. And this weekend, a cold front is moving in, and it's going to get windy. So you've been warned, and people will be looking for allergy relief. Our Pachata Pope got expert advice to help you breathe easier.
This is the time of year we start to see a massive influx in patients coming in with more severe allergy symptoms. Their symptoms are sneezing, sniffles, runny nose, itchy, watery red eyes, kind of sore throat, lots of mucus production.
Celeste Laura is a nurse practitioner with South Texas Allergy and Asthma Medical Professionals. She says it's important to know your symptoms and how long they're hanging around because they can
mimic kind of illnesses or flu symptoms.
She says parents need to keep a close eye on children with symptoms, especially if they've already been diagnosed with asthma.
We also have to remember that allergies and asthma can go hand in hand, and especially with those kiddos, if we don't treat it early on, it can progress to something even more, like exacerbating their asthma and making that worse.
Laura says with strong winds coming in with the cold front, it's possible there could be more allergens in the air. She says allergy sufferers should know when their allergy issues usually kick up and should start treatment. And if you haven't paid attention, the notorious mountain cedar season is on the horizon. It starts in December.
So if you know that you're running into the time of the year that's more problematic for you, you want to start a little bit before that season and continue on through. And those treatments are pretty good for other allergens as well.
Some of those treatments Laura recommends to her patients include over-the-counter antihistamines, nasal sprays, and rinses. But she says if
the symptoms are still persistent and become more severe, then I definitely think it's time for a visit with an allergist.
Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
Not that you're keeping count, Shelby, but I think I sneezed probably 4 or 5 times just this shift alone.
I mean, in the newsroom, it's always sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. And with that cold front, you might see the allergens at least a stronger or at least a little different tomorrow, because that cold front moving through is bringing some stronger winds and still that chance for some fire danger. All that red color, that is that extreme chance for that fire danger. Now, that is San Antonio all the way up to Kerrville, Gillespie County, Pleasanton, down towards Beeville, Corpus Christi, and even getting closer to Houston. But behind that, yes, there is still that chance of some fire danger tomorrow, but that cold front's moving through, and all of that cooler Canadian and really that Arctic air getting behind it is really going to allow those northerly winds to feed into South Texas and for most of the country. In fact, our temperatures are going to be fairly cooler. In fact, we're seeing temperatures about 20 degrees cooler in our afternoons tomorrow, having our peak temperatures in the 60s. But what we're watching the waking up in the 30s this week. I'll break down your futurecast of that cold front and the cooler air behind it coming up after the break.
The cold air is on our doorstep, and we got more cold air coming up behind it. So for how long are we going to be cold?
So I wish I had better news, because normally you hear cold front, it's November, you want the fall-like temperatures. Now this cold front isn't going to allow the temperatures to really stay cold for long, but Sunday it's still going to be absolutely gorgeous with our temperatures. Our peak temperature is only expected to be about 68 degrees, and it's going to be 20 degrees colder tomorrow than what we were today. We got to about 88 to 89 degrees, and tomorrow's still going to be much cooler. But what we're watching is still those gusty winds behind it. But with the winds, they're going to be from the north, and those northerly winds are going to be bringing some of that cooler air, especially because some of this cold air is all because of that low pressure system. And in fact, there's 2 low pressure systems. There's a little bit of a dip in the upper level of the atmosphere in that jet stream, or the 500 millibars up in the upper atmosphere. But when we see a little bit of a dip in it, that's when we normally see the strong cooler air, or as some people know, the polar vortex, really bringing in some of that cooler air down to Texas. And how cold? Well, we're not expecting temperatures to get to single digits or even 10 degrees up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. But what we're watching is some of that cooler air already making its way closer to the lower 48. Grand Forks, North Dakota is sitting at about 22 degrees right now. Even in Wichita, sitting at about 46 degrees. And all that blue color, that's that cooler air that's already making its way down to South Texas. In fact, Abilene's already sitting at about 57 degrees because that cold front's already passed through. And on Monday, that's when we'll really feel, especially in the mornings, the cold air associated with this cold front. We're talking about maybe 10 to even near 20 degrees below our average temperature, not only in San Antonio at times, but for most of the country as it continues to push through. But behind it, we're expecting warmer temperatures to return. So what we're watching is that low pressure system in the upper levels of the atmosphere and that surface cold front pushing through. But as that low pressure system bringing in some of that cooler air and that trough dips down and moves to the east, We're watching that big blue H, that heat high moving in from the west, and that's going to help push some of that cooler air just to the east of us. And that's why we're seeing the chance of the temperatures returning back to the 80s by the end of the week. But what we're watching is as that high pressure system finally leaves, there could be another small dip in the atmosphere in the upper levels, maybe seeing temperatures get to the 70s, but that's still a week away. And we still have to get through the first cold front we're seeing tomorrow with our cooler temperatures. Now, how cold are we talking about? Well, some folks Monday morning might get to freezing, but it's not going to be widespread. San Antonio, we're talking about temperatures getting near about 39 degrees, but as you go into portions of the hill country near Kerrville, up in northern and Kirk County, up in western just to the west of Lakey and Real County, we're having the possibility of maybe a light freeze, but it's not going to be widespread. Similar conditions on Tuesday, except it shifts just to the east of us. We're not expecting another widespread freeze, but all those colors in areas in pink, we're watching that chance for temperatures to be near freezing. So keep that in mind on Monday and Tuesday as you're getting the kiddos ready to go to school. You might need that jacket. You might need a few extra minutes to start the car. Make sure the heat is on. Never start your car while that garage door is shut. Just a reminder because it's been a while since we've seen some cooler temperatures. These are some of the colder temperatures we've seen since, I believe, back in February when we had that little cold snap.
Just a few months ago.
Just a few months ago.
Some good reminders there, too. Also, you mentioned fire danger earlier, so no dragging chains, dispose of cigarettes properly, any outdoor work with drilling or welding. The slightest spark could ignite something.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. Speaking of a spark, a different type of spark, Spurs are happy to have De'Aaron Fox back.
Yeah, and De'Aaron Fox is happy to be back on the court. So he's been out while he's coming back from a offseason hamstring injury. Tonight, De'Aaron Fox returned, and he was insane, leading the Spurs in scoring. We are going to hear from Swipe It to Fox coming up. And we've also got a crazy touchdown catch in college football that kept a certain team in the ranks of the unbeaten coming up. Spurs point guard De'Aaron Fox made his season debut tonight. He didn't waste a whole lot of time making his presence felt. Second quarter, he goes step back three-pointer for his first points of the season. Then a little bit later, Victor Wembanyama misses a three ball, and Fox races in for the rebound and the putback bucket. Fox now showing off his speed. He's going to stop and pop from inside the paint, and he scores, and he's not done. Fox now driving the paint, and he makes the reverse layup and gets fouled for a three-point play. Free throw was good, and he makes another three-pointer, capping off his own 13-0 run. He had 15 points in the first half, and San Antonio led 66-58 at halftime. Jumping to the fourth, Steph Castle playing alley-oop with Wemby for a backward slam dunk. Then it's Castle to Wemby again, this time for a three-ball corner pocket, and San Antonio leads by 14. But the Pels will get within three with some 30 seconds to go, but have no fears. Swiping the Foxes here for a nifty hoop for some breathing room. He'd tack on two free throws. The Spurs win 126-119. Fox had 24 in his debut. Wemby had 18 points and 18 rebounds.
There was rust, and I played 5-on-5, before I got out here, but there's definitely rust. I haven't played a game since March, and then I actually didn't play full court all summer.
We've been waiting for Fox to get back really all summer, so it's great to have him back on the court. Obviously you see how much of a help offensively he is for us, so it's only up from here.
The 7-2 Spurs will next play at the Chicago Bulls Monday night at 7. Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed threw for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Aggies past Missouri 38-17. The Aggies are now 9-0 overall, 6-0 in the SEC. The Aggies wrapped up 3 straight SEC games on the road, winning in Arkansas 45-42, at LSU 49-25, and today beating the 22nd-ranked Tigers by 21. The 3rd-ranked Aggies just keep finding ways to win, and Coach Elko, he's happy about that.
I just think we did the things we needed to do to be successful, and we'll be excited to come back home. And the last thing I just want to say is just thank you to all the Aggie fans who are out here today. The 12th man certainly travels, and again, at the end of that game, it just was it's an amazing scene, seeing all the Aggie fans get behind us. And so thank you again to the 12th man. And I know they'll be in Kyle Field next week ready to roll. And so we're excited for that opportunity. So.
Number 8, Texas Tech easily beat Big 12 foe number 7 BYU 29-7 in Lubbock to take control of the conference. Texas Tech is 9-1 overall, 6-1 in the Big 12, and has a chance to make a massive jump in the next CFP rankings. All right, the Indiana Hoosiers remain undefeated thanks to this incredible TD catch with 36 seconds to go, giving Indiana the lead for good. Omar Cooper Jr.'s toe tap touchdown keeps number 2 Indiana perfect on the season at 10-0. Cooper Jr. jumped up to make the catch, swiping his inside foot within the field of play for an insane touchdown. His QB, Fernando Mendoza, was under big-time pressure. He was hit as he threw the ball, and Jr. came down with it. Indiana tops Penn State 27-24. JP, look at that. Let it keep playing out. How about that
concentration?
Touchdown.
You can see he's looking down right now to see where the end of the end zone is, and he extends backwards.
That is insane. Catch of the year?
Could be. It's
right
up there. I just kind of in shock that we're talking about Indiana in the top 2-3 teams in college football. I thought we were about to show basketball highlights there for a second.
Yes.
Definitely strangers to the top 10. Texas A&M, Texas Tech also in the top 10. You don't usually see them up there, but they're producing.
They are, man. It's a good year right now.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Larry.
You got it.
We'll be right back.